What if I told you that the person you trust most, your lawyer, could be planning your murder? What if the very person sworn to protect your legal rights was secretly orchestrating your death? This isn't a movie plot. This isn't fiction. This is the horrifying true story they tried to bury for 12 years. Welcome to the Secret Chronicles, where we expose the truths they don't want you to discover. I'm your host, and today we're uncovering one of the most shocking betrayals in legal history. The story of Aliza Sherman, a devoted mother and nurse who trusted her divorce attorney with her life and paid the ultimate price. For over a decade, this case was buried in police files. The real killer walked free, practicing law, representing other vulnerable clients. But advanced digital forensics finally exposed the truth that will make you question every attorney you've ever trusted. Because what happened to Aliza Sherman proves that sometimes the most dangerous predator is the one you pay to protect you. Let me tell you about Aliza Sherman, the woman they wanted erased from history. At 53, she was living her purpose, an IVF nurse at the prestigious Cleveland Clinic, helping families create life when nature wouldn't cooperate. Her daughter Jennifer called her truly the best human I ever knew. 4 children, Joshua, Jennifer, Jason, and Jeremy, ages 17 to 29, all looking up to their incredible mother. Her colleagues at the Cleveland Clinic respected her dedication. Her patients trusted her with their most intimate dreams of parenthood. But Aliza had a problem that powerful people wanted to eliminate permanently. She was divorcing her husband, Sanford Sherman, and after 2 years of contentious legal warfare, she was just 48 hours away from her final trial. 48 hours from freedom. 48 hours from exposing secrets that someone was willing to kill to protect. March 24, 2013. A Sunday afternoon that would prove how far certain people will go to silence the truth. What Aliza didn't know was that her own divorce attorney, the man she trusted with her most private affairs, had been planning her death for months. "Aliza, I need you to come to the office this afternoon. There are some last-minute details we need to discuss before tomorrow's trial." Gregory Moore, 51 years old, Aliza's trusted divorce attorney. The man who knew every detail of her marriage, her finances, her fears about the upcoming trial. The man who had been secretly planning her murder since January 3, 2013, the exact same day he learned prosecutors were investigating him for bomb threats. Here's what investigators eventually discovered through digital forensics: the secret timeline of betrayal that took 12 years to uncover. January 3rd, Moore learns he's under investigation for calling in bomb threats to delay court trials. That same day, he and an unknown accomplice obtain a new untraceable phone. The planning begins. March 24th, 2:31 p.m. Moore texts Aliza, luring her to his downtown Cleveland office for a meeting he never intended to have. He swipes his keycard to enter the Airy View Plaza building, but doesn't go inside. Instead, he disconnects his phone from the network, creating a 3-hour digital blackout around the time of the attack. Aliza arrives at 4:30 p.m. as requested. The building doors are locked. She texts Moore, "I'm going back to my car to wait because it's cold. Let me know when the door is open." She never made it to her car. Kenny Shepard, working on the 4th floor of a nearby building, glances out his window and sees something that will haunt him forever. A hooded figure chasing a woman down East 12th Street in broad daylight. The assailant, identified in the indictment as either Moore or an unknown co-conspirator, catches up to Aliza Sherman on a busy downtown street. 11 stab wounds. 11 separate attacks with a knife in the middle of Cleveland's business district on a Sunday afternoon. Despite her fatal injuries, Aliza managed to dial 911. Her final act wasn't surrender, it was fighting for justice. Kenny Shepard rushed down from his office, trying to help a dying woman he'd never met. Paramedics raced her to the hospital, but the damage was too severe. While Aliza Sherman bled to death in a Cleveland hospital, Gregory Moore was executing the final phase of his cover-up. He snuck into his office building through a back entrance, avoiding the police cars swarming the front. At 7:32 p.m., he reconnected his phone to the network and began calling Aliza's number repeatedly until 9:05 p.m. Imagine the calculated coldness. Calling your murder victim's phone over and over, creating the illusion that you don't know she's dead. Investigators would later prove this was all theater, a performance designed to create reasonable doubt about his involvement. For 12 years, Gregory Moore walked free. He continued practicing law. He represented other vulnerable clients going through divorces. Aliza Sherman's family waited, grieved, and wondered if they'd ever get justice. The signs were there from the beginning. In 2017, Moore pleaded guilty to lying to police about his whereabouts during Aliza's murder. He also admitted to calling in bomb threats to courthouses in 2012, a pattern of using terror tactics to manipulate the legal system. His law license was suspended, then resigned. He served just 6 months in jail for lying to investigators, 6 months for obstructing a murder investigation. The system protected him while Aliza's family suffered in silence. But in 2021, everything changed. The Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation's Cold Case Unit took over, bringing advanced digital forensics that weren't available in 2013. Attorney General Dave Yost explained the breakthrough. Anytime a person uses a mobile phone, it leaves a digital fingerprint. Those digital fingerprints told a story that destroyed Gregory Moore's carefully constructed alibi. Wi-Fi connections, cell tower pings, GPS data, all proving that Moore had systematically deceived investigators about his location and activities on March 24, 2013. The people of Ohio versus Gregory Moore. Count 1, aggravated murder, count 2 through 7. Murder, counts 8 and 9, kidnapping, count 10, conspiracy. May 2, 2025. U.S. Marshals in Austin, Texas receive a sealed warrant. Gregory Moore, now 51, is arrested for the murder of his own client, a crime he committed 12 years earlier and thought he'd gotten away with forever. The secret grand jury indictment revealed the shocking scope of Moore's plan. The conspiracy began January 3, 2013. He obtained untraceable communication devices. He deliberately lured Aliza to a location where she could be killed. He created elaborate digital deceptions to hide his involvement. He transferred phone numbers days after the murder to cover his tracks. Prosecutors now believe Moore killed Aliza to prevent her from attending her divorce trial, scheduled for March 25, 2013, just 1 day after her murder. What secrets was she going to reveal in that courtroom? What evidence did she have that was worth killing for? The indictment mentions an unknown co-conspirator. Someone else was involved in planning Aliza's murder. Someone else who has walked free for 12 years. The investigation continues. Aliza's brother Harry Chin described his feelings as bittersweet, glad they got the person, but the memories are painful. Jan Lash, Aliza's best friend for 40 years, had suspected Moore all along. The circumstances of his interactions with Aliza that day seemed strange. Cuyahoga County Prosecutor Michael O'Malley stated the evidence paints the unmistakable picture that Gregory Moore orchestrated and participated in the brutal murder of Aliza Sherman. Moore's arraignment is scheduled for May 16, 2025. Aliza's daughter Jennifer established the Aliza Sherman Fund at Cleveland Clinic in 2023, helping violence victims and funding prevention programs. Even in death, Aliza continues helping others, the same calling that defined her life. Sanford Sherman, Aliza's estranged husband, died in Florida in 2024. Prosecutors confirmed he's not suspected as a co-conspirator, though he never cooperated with the original investigation. So who was Moore's accomplice? Who else knew about the plan to kill Aliza Sherman? This case exposes terrifying truths about our legal system. How many other attorneys have used their intimate knowledge of clients' lives to harm them? How many other Gregory Moores are practicing law right now, using privileged information for personal gain? The breakthrough came from digital forensics, proof that in 2025, there's no such thing as a perfect crime. Every phone call, every text, every Wi-Fi connection leaves traces that can expose the truth years later. Privacy is dead, but so is the ability to hide murder. Why did it take 12 years to arrest Gregory Moore when he'd already been convicted of lying to investigators about this very case? How many other cold cases could be solved with advanced digital forensics? How many families are still waiting for answers that technology could provide? Most disturbing of all, someone else was involved in planning Aliza Sherman's murder. Someone who helped Moore obtain untraceable phones, who may have been present during the attack, who has successfully hidden their identity for 12 years. They're still out there. As I researched this case, I kept thinking about every attorney I've ever trusted with personal information. During divorces, legal disputes, criminal defense, we share our deepest secrets with lawyers, believing in attorney-client privilege. But what happens when the attorney becomes the threat? Think about your own legal experiences. Have you ever felt uncomfortable with an attorney's questions? Have you shared information that could be used against you? Aliza Sherman trusted Gregory Moore with the details of her marriage, her finances, her schedule. He used that trust to plan her murder. Gregory Moore's trial will reveal more secrets about this conspiracy. We'll be following every development, every revelation, every twist in this case that proves even your own lawyer can't always be trusted. Subscribe to the Secret Chronicles for updates on the Gregory Moore trial and other cases where the truth was buried for years. Leave a comment with your theories about Moore's co-conspirator. And remember, in a world where digital forensics can solve 12-year-old murders, no secret stays buried forever. Aliza Sherman deserved justice. Her family deserved answers. And thanks to persistent investigators and advancing technology, they're finally getting both. But somewhere out there, Gregory Moore's accomplice is still free, still keeping secrets, still hoping the truth never surfaces. The Secret Chronicles will keep digging until every secret is exposed.